I always say, and my cousin always says, Canada was built on the back of a canoe, right? The First Nations people, like, you know, built canoes and then helped the non-Indigenous people who came over travel in them, right?
There are certain things about the way that you can manipulate wood to take a certain curve or create a certain line that is very hard to create in a synthetic material. You would think that wouldn't be true, but it allows for a really clean and smooth reaction on the water, and it's just quiet. You end up hearing the stroke of the paddle moving through the water instead of the canoe moving through the water. It just allows you to be in the environment so delicately and quietly.
This is a story about a traditional, slow, strenuous and all-female adventure. 40 days spent canoe tripping in the Canadian wilderness, using leather tumplines, wooden wannigan boxes, wood canvas canoes, and real food cooked over open fires. It's also about the joy of nature and what happens when young women and teenagers get together far from the stresses of everyday life. At the heart of this tale is an American summer camp, but not as you know it. Established in 1893, Keewaydin is one of the oldest operating summer camps in North America. Base camp is a collection of old wooden cabins on Lake Temagami and looks much the same now as it did in the early 1900s. As a youth camp, Keewaydin aims to build character, self-reliance and confidence. But as an institution, it also preserves heritage canoe travel.
My name's Bruce Ingersoll. I'm the director here at Keewaydin. We only do one thing. We go on canoe trips, and we're really good at it, and because it's all we know how to do, and it appeals to a, I want to use the word peculiar, but that not in a negative way, but it to a particular individual who it just, you fall in love with it.
The first American summer camps popped up in the 1800s and presented themselves as a natural alternative to an encroaching industrial society. An anecdote to too much indoorness and mollycoddling. Keewaydin founder A.S. Greg Clark said, "The training and discipline he receives in being so close to nature and in learning to meet the conditions of a primitive life, such an experience cannot fail to increase a boy's manliness and self-reliance." For the first 105 years, Keewaydin was only for boys and men. But for just over 20 years, girls and women have been allowed to join the ranks.
The first year of the girls program started in 1999. Myself and a couple other women came up to help start the program. And it wasn't until I got there that I realized the staff community, the male staff community, had very mixed feelings about girls being there. Keewaydin was 105 years old, had been boys only for 105 years. And all of a sudden, by introducing women, a lot of things were going to change. I also do think there was, a lot of question if women could actually do canoe tripping the way Keewaydin does canoe tripping. Could they really handle it? Will you be able to keep pace with the routes in which we travel? Or will you need a little easier trip because what we do is too hard for you? I think all of that was really there. There probably was other ways to get them to understand that it wasn't a problem, but it to me seemed the most simple and direct path was that we just needed to do it exactly the way they did it. And then they wouldn't have anything to question. And I knew we could. There was no doubt.
So I'm keen to know why. Why something established over 105 years ago to promote manliness and roughing it in the woods is relevant to teenage girls today. I find myself wondering what kind of teenage girl would really want to forgo all of life's luxuries and spend their summer in the wilderness. And yet knowing as a teenager, I probably would have been one of them. My teenage years were a haze of hair frizz, muscles and nervous anxiety. Trying my damnedest to be cool, pave my own path, but still be accepted. I'm now almost 40, a mum and a filmmaker. In the last 2 decades, I've acquired an arthritic big toe, creaking knees and a weak pelvic floor. And yet my inner teenager is still captivated by this intense wilderness experience. So I'm curious to know now, could I hack it? Could I get along with 9 enthusiastic teenage girls, paddle in the wind and rain, and carry a heavy load from a leather strap on my head? So do you tell your friends what you do over summer?
I try to explain it to them. They have no idea what it is. Like, I describe to them, yeah, we carry our food in wannigans. They're like, what's a It's a big box. How do you carry a big box on your head? They don't get it. They think it's cool, though, but I don't think any of them would want to come out here. Well, maybe some of them. You really don't know until you, like, what it's about until you come to camp and experience it yourself.
So I had most of these girls last summer for Section 3, which was in Ontario, and it was sunny pretty much every day. We had quite a few rest days, so it was a lot more type 1 fun. And then this summer, coming into it, they were all definitely nervous. They're all definitely nervous for the summer just because it's a big transition year from tripping in Ontario to Quebec.
So this summer, the oldest group of girls heading out is Section 2, and it's made up of a group of young teenage women that are ready for the challenge, but yet at the same time don't really fully know what they're getting into. It's the first time that they're going to be heading into northern Quebec and to a region that is known for its black flies, its mosquitoes, its potential cold weather, its potential snow, and yet it can also be stunningly warm and beautiful. And so they're heading into an environment that is unpredictable.
The plan is a 600-mile drive north, largely on gravel road, and then a lengthy canoe trip covering 400 miles in 40 days, with one resupply via float plane.
And then...
Is this the campsite?
I can't tell. I think it's a connecting portage. That's why I was looking at this guy.
Mm.
Travelling southwest, we'll follow a network of streams, lakes, rivers and muskeg bogs until we reach the expansive Lake Mistassini and make the final crossing.
We have to bag everything really well because of all the rain and the possibility of flipping a boat in a rapid or something. So you get really good at tying slip knots.
Vast and heavy supplies of tinned and dried foods are packed up. Enough for the first 20 days until the vital midway resupply. It's my plan to join the girls for the first week of trip, and then to fly out and meet up again on day 20 with the resupply. From there, I'll paddle with the girls until the end. We drive for 2.5 days to what really is the end of the road in the middle of nowhere. From here, a float plane will be the only way in and out of trip. I'm nervous, but I'm ready to push off and say farewell to our drivers. I watch as the girls rustily get themselves organised. Most of them won't have paddled a canoe since last summer, and for some, it'll be their first time tripping in this traditional style.
Okay, so now hold it and put it on the back of your head like you just did. Okay, and now hold it, flip your arms. Nice, okay, and now stand up from your legs and twist. You got got it, you got it, you got it. Nice. Nice. How'd that feel? Not the best. That looked good though. Nice job. Thank you.
The first time they put on that wannigan, usually it's pain and misery for like the first 3 or 4 days, but then you see other girls helping them out and teaching them techniques and, different tumping. Oh, you should shorten your tump strap. That's really long. That looks really painful. Oh, it is? Okay, so like here.
What's it feel like to have wet feet, Dorothea?
Yeah, it's a disappointment. I really thought I would last a little bit longer.
Oh, that was done.
As soon as we're on the water, I sense a lightness, an ebbing of woes. It's what we've all been waiting for. After a gentle hour's paddle, we find our first camp spot.
Oh my God, this is so much heavier than it should be. I don't know, I think it's a lot of people.
Yeah, nice. Woo! That was close.
Right down.
Oh my God, you guys need to be all right, let's get the boat out.
I am a Temiagama Anishinaabe Kwe, and that in English means deep water by the shore people. What I've been told is that my great ancestors from Bear Island used to guide up here back in when Keewaydin started in the early 1900s. They would ask guides from Bear Island to help guide around the area.
In 1670, King Charles II of England granted the Royal Charter. The charter served as the original Articles of Incorporation of the Hudson's Bay Company and stated that the company could control all lands whose rivers and streams drained into Hudson's Bay. That's equivalent to nearly 40% of modern-day Canada. Of course, it's a dubious claim that the King of England's signature on a piece of parchment in 1670 could effectively bestow sovereignty over such a vast land and ignore the Indigenous people who already occupied that land. But the charter did lead to the establishment of large outposts where pelts and furs were traded. Birch bark canoes and tumplines were already used to transport loads by Indigenous people, and so the methods were passed on to early explorers and French voyageurs, who tirelessly paddled their canoes in search of furs. Ultimately, this led to the mapping of transportation routes on the interior lakes and rivers. The girls are busy, and as I watch, I'm thinking about who might have travelled this route before us, who might have camped at this very spot, and what tales they would have to tell. Call me an old romantic, but travelling in this traditional way feels like a shared experience, like we're inherently part of something much bigger.
Well, we just got to our first campsite, so it's a lot of organizing, so it looks incredibly messy right now. Slowly getting it together. Dinner's being cooked. Girls are doing wood crew. Tents were set up. They're also tumping their canoes for portaging.
I don't know. Fit as tightly as you can around
This part, right?
around that part, yeah.
We're safe with these on the stack.
The trip starts off quite gentle. The girls make delicious cornbread served with honey and chilli, and I get to sleep on a cloud of caribou moss. As the sun rises on our first full day, I wake up refreshed. We enjoy a hearty breakfast followed by what becomes the daily ritual of a pre-paddle sacrifice.
To the Great White Bear, we, Section 2, offer you this half piece of bacon because we really, really want to have really good travels today on our shorter day because it's the second day, but on a really good day. And it's pretty right now, and there are no clouds, so that's going to be good. Thanks, Loon. But to the Great White Bear because you're going to make it really safe. Yay.
still burn. Yeah, you can put some more wood on it.
It's always such a rewarding experience canoeing in the wilderness with your closest friends, but I don't like being wet. My shoes, it's fine, my socks, it's fine, but once it gets that I'm soaking all day and like getting your sleeping bag, yeah, so I'm absolutely excited, but also there is an aspect of anxiety.
I'm learning that there is a lot of rain in northern Quebec.
Does someone want to take this onion and put it in a pan?
I got you.
Bacon's done. I haven't done garlic. Do you want this now or later?
What?
Balls.
She got
balls. Because she's jumping everywhere.
So when I'm on trip, I really miss my mom's cooking. She makes really good meatball soup. How do you call it, Mom? Albondigas, yeah. She makes really good albondigas, so I miss it whenever it's cold.
I should like cut them off. The bottoms are just gonna be wet. I think most probably. Like as long as the top's pretty dry. Okay, that's good. I can.
They're hot.
Someone else can do them. Thank you.
We're about to carry the canoes and all our gear overland between two bodies of water. We have just completed our first portage, and I am blown away by these girls. Like, it's so slippy underfoot, and they think they're not up to it, but they're incredible. Woo! Yeah, well done.
The canoes are used for 6 to 7 weeks in the summer, and they're built to withstand the use. They're a testament to the quality because they hold up. It's a pretty enjoyable experience to just take something that's really basic and then bit by bit, hour by hour, be turning that lumber into the components that become the canoe. So one end of the carrying bar gets shaved away a little bit more, just creating a little softer transition on the wood for where the bar meets the back of your neck. And so the blade will go here, the second paddle blade will go under. Those two paddle blades make for a little V that is room for your head to go through so that your shoulders have the paddles resting on them while you carry the canoe, and then your arms are holding on to the shafts of the paddle to help keep balance as you carry the canoe.
The girls gradually hone their technique. They're getting stronger. But the terrain is unrelentingly tricky. It trips us up and pushes us back again and again. Whoa, you okay? Picking yourself up time after time takes its toll. You nearly passed it. Go, yeah, past it. Whoa.
Did you capture that on film?
I have, yeah.
Oh, God.
Shall I help you up? I'm also finding it a challenge. Slipped on the trail, dropped all my bags. The weather, the bugs, the constantly being on the go. So hungry. And all we've got is flipping raisins. Oh. I'm struggling with all of it. Why did I think that making this film was a good idea? Right here is my home tonight. I've got steam coming off my feet. Steamy feet and wrinkly toes. Oh man. And having a quick 5-minute lie down before dinner. That is why I am delaying getting out of my tent this morning. I'm being particularly slow. A week into trip, it's time for me to make my planned departure. The girls aren't completely confident in their ability yet, and my camera clearly makes them feel uneasy. It feels right to let them find their groove. Besides, this past week has reminded me just how much I am not a teenager. A bedroll covering lumps and potholes is no substitute for a springy mattress. And whilst I don't have exams and schoolwork to stress about, it seems finding the right balance in life, finding time, can get tricky as you get older. I welcome a slower pace and some family time. Can I have a wave? Go on, Arlo. Splosh. Oh, watch out. Oof. Nearly bumped you. The girls have been lake hopping and tripping hard since I last saw them. I've had a rest. I'm recharged. I've eaten a lot of fruit, had a lot of cuddles, and I am looking forward to rejoining them.
We are in Mississippi, Mississippi, and we are going to be float planed in to the re-outfit to join the rest of the section.
So why are you not with your section?
So it was a pretty short portage, maybe like 200 meters. I was carrying the boat. I tripped on a root, and I landed about on my knees. I needed something to like hoist myself. So I called Cam over and grabbed her hand. I was kind of reaching up and back like this. My arm was fully extended. And I was like, okay, 1, 2, 3. And I pulled down on her arm a little too hard, and then my shoulder just popped out. Yeah, very painful. It stayed out. I yelled for the Katies, and they came over. KP actually put it back in. So we decided that it would be best for the section if I come off trip and make sure everything was okay. I have been off trip for about 12 days now. I miss them a lot, but I'm very excited to get back on trip, and I feel 100%. I'm ready to go.
Cool, that's awesome. Yeah. What are we doing, Max?
We are loading the re-outfit for section 2. $31 boxes. Here we go.
There's something in your seat. Oh, watermelon! It's impressive to think the girls have been tripping for 3 weeks already. And when Cielo and I land, we have another 3 weeks of tripping ahead. The youthful enthusiasm with which they welcome Cielo back into the group is heartwarming.
Is that light?
Being reunited and getting a welcome stock-up of the dwindling food supplies has lifted everyone's spirits.
Mine is healthy. Mine is healthy.
I'm back with the group. Float plane landed. Cielo and I are back here, and it's about 4 or 5-ish in the afternoon. Everyone's unloading all the food that we bought. And yeah, spirits are high. And there's still lots of flies. Allowing the girls to find their groove without me means that on my return, I am panting, lagging, swearing, and chasing after them. I have no groove. Day 25. We arrived at a bug-ridden bushy spot, and it was declared our campsite.
There's a mosquito on your eyebrow.
So many mosquitoes, flies that bite, sting, and annoy. They seem to bother me much more than they bother the girls.
Okay, here we are. We're on a trail. Day 26 of trip. It is a nice, beautiful, sunny day. And we are starting our second load of our 900-meter portage around a really beautiful rapid.
Under a boat or carrying a heavy load, we can each be in our own painful state of turmoil, mentally and physically pushing ourselves on, cursing, breathing deep, crying. And then at the end, as the weight drops from our head and shoulders, there is an emotional high, an instantaneous euphoric feeling, a personal and collective sense of achievement. So we're portaging around that rapid on the East Main River, and we're going to come out there. That's where we've just put the canoes. A portage allows us to travel around falling water or link together lakes, and they're usually ancient trails established by trappers and the First Nations people of Canada. We're travelling in Cree territory now, and as our experiences mesh with theirs, the route is kept open. We look for a blaze on a tree made with a single axe cut, or strips of bandana marking the path. The trails are really confusing, so we follow tape, like this one, to that one, to that one, to that one, and then you weave your way through. Sometimes we leave bits of cloth ourselves, and we clear it up, and sometimes you find someone's already here. You practice, you perfect your tump, and travelling is easier. It even begins to feel comforting. A slow, steady and grounding weight in which you can take pride in yourself for hauling.
I've been like focusing a lot on my breath, which sounds really dorky and like yoga, whatever, but like taking a deep breath. And you know when you get like a full breath and it's like when you yawn, that type of breath has been really helpful when I'm under the boat. And I have gotten to the point where I like wanted to cry and scream and like, it's just like really difficult. And you don't want to put down because then it's like takes that more energy to like get it back up on your head and like takes 2 other people. And so I'd say like focusing on my breath and the fact that we're all doing it and it's not just me doing it, it's like everyone else is holding a boat or holding a load.
Do you want one more hand up there?
Yeah,
Okay, Cam, do you want to move up and I'll take your spot?
Makes you like, yeah, you 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2.
Vulnerabilities sometimes are just seen as weaknesses and not as a learning opportunity. And I think these girls are given so many learning opportunities that you have to push through. Like, you're gonna finish the portage even if it sucks, because we have to move, and then we have another portage. So it's cool that no matter how hard or how much you're failing at something, you're gonna succeed at the end of the day. Like, it's almost a guarantee. Or if it's not today, it's gonna be tomorrow, because we have 40 days of this. I think it's just a wonderful time for them to realize that it's okay to be imperfect.
Hey, Margot, I've heard it's slippy up there, so maybe just keep a little bit right. Oh, are you all right? I watch as these teenagers and their bodies seem to rebound effortlessly. Without youth on my side, my joints ache, creak and swell. I'm more cautious, whilst trying not to be too slow. I feel different from these girls, and yet entirely the same.
I think it's really building us up as like women. It's making those bonds that are unforgettable, those relationships. But then it's also showing that, like, you know, we are capable. We're capable, we can trip. Yeah, the guys are stronger, we get that, but we can do it just as good, right?
Slowly, I realise I am beginning to feel comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Another beautiful morning in northern Quebec, 5:30. Woke up, something's wrong with this eye, not quite sure what. Maybe a bug bite. So, whoop whoop.
On the East Main River, we found big rapids. Scouting and memorising routes was essential.
You'll get a little hit from the right. Okay, good job. Nice loose hip.
Fourth portage of the day. I think I could eat my own body weight in goo balls right now.
And I'm thinking about a whole roast chicken, hot sauce, and a feta salad. It crunches. And I'm thinking about that watermelon that we devoured 2 weeks ago. And I think I might have gone the wrong way. After spending 9 days on the historic East Main River, we now head upstream and onto the expansive Lake Mistassini, where we hope for calm waters.
Making tomorrow's bannock. I didn't put anything in it like cinnamon yet. I think I will. What should we do? You want to do like cinnamon raisin or what?
Cranberry and lemon.
Okay.
That was good. Are we just gonna put banana chips and brown sugar on red wine?
I know some of the girls are from bigger cities. For them to come here and to be outside and be so joyful in the hard work is such a wonderful thing to see. It makes you realize how lucky you are to be in these places and how much you want these places to stay these places and these opportunities to be given to other people to sort of just become your natural self, you know, not worry about other things or, you know, how something should look.
Ah, she won. I like her too. All right.
All right.
All right.
All right.
We cook over an open fire. We cook food from scratch. There's a simplicity to that that's really important, particularly in today's world where everything is going at a high motored pace.
Coming here really helped me ground myself, and yeah, it really did help shape who I am and the person I am and just make me almost like a kinder person, one that appreciates the earth more and Mother Earth more and the water especially, so.
It's so nice. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Maxine. Happy birthday to you. Whoa. Oh, wow. Yay! Seconds, let's go out.
Yeah, let's add brown sugar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Katie's turn.
We laugh and sing, and the tough parts of the day ebb away.
Alex, what babies do you take?
Legitimately,
Raise it like it's like a very short clip.
but still long enough. It's so fun,
Then we were like, wait, but we...
To the Great White Bear. Today is the day that we're hoping to finally cross Mistassini, what we've been waiting for our entire trip. So we ask you for safe travels and that we make it across safely. To the majestic loon. Please, please, please give us very, very good weather today so that we can cross Mistassini. We give you this half piece of bacon to not give us really bad weather or headwinds or just really rough water so we can safely cross Mistassini with nice weather. Thank you.
Hey! Let's hope it works.
It's day, almost end of trip, and it's raining, and we just saw a moose, and it was pretty cool.
And a baby.
And a baby. Oh, I didn't see the baby. That's awkward. I was really far back. But it was really big. And the moose was all like, and like wouldn't move. And I feel really wet. My pants are soaking wet. But I'm pretty happy because we're 1K away from Miss Stassany.
We've reached it. Now we've just got to paddle across it.
Over 40 days, the girls have paddled over 400 miles together. And with a thunderstorm chasing us, we cross Lake Mistassini and Section 2 is nearly complete. An adventure set up to promote manliness and roughing it in the woods over 100 years ago has absolutely proven to be relevant to teenage girls today. Courage, strength, resilience, virility. When pushed, these girls have shown they have that in buckets. I've chewed through more than my fair share of anti-inflammatories. I've developed new aches and pains. But I'm now clear, being older and a mum doesn't need to stop me having these types of adventures.
We did it!
You build these relationships that are indescribable with the people that you're traveling with, and yeah, Section 2 is, it's a great trip. It really builds character and it builds your strength as a tripper because it takes a lot to get through it, right? So, and you know now because you've been on one.
Memories of this summer will prove life-affirming should we ever doubt our own strength and resilience.
Just soaking it all up. This is the last portage of the trip. Everyone's gone across already, and I'm the last person to come through. Just taking in the silence, the fresh air. It's been wonderful and exhausting.
I wonder now what lies ahead for these teenage girls. What will they take from their time on trip to instill into their own lives? And how will the opportunities of this historic summer camp affect the lives of those following after?
This canoe is going to be here for 50 years or more. It's going to be used over and over and over again. And the miles that it will cover, the stories that it is a part of, things that we will never fully understand, but yet we really value.
There is a value in these journeys where resilience is gained through struggle, portage after portage, where a strong sisterhood is built from time spent in the wilderness, and where a sense of peace from being on the water is almost spiritual.
It can pass you by. It can be your road, a road once traveling light. It can weigh you down. It can be your star.
There we go.
You will be scared. Shine a light, don't shy away. You've got more than it takes. You know. You know. Put your hand in mine. We're in this together. In this together.